Over this past week, I've had a lot of people tell me I'm not capable of running a sub-25k. Not meant in a mean way, and often it's just those little comments or like the raised eyebrows, the polite nods. Others just pure direct, it's not happening, Jen. Sometimes it's based on data, sometimes it's a gut feeling. A lot of the time, it's probably based on whether they've achieved it themselves or not. But after a while, it starts to get into your head, and I have started to question it too. Can I really do this? I looked into it, and it turns out those doubts are pretty common because statistically, they're kind of true. A recent study showed that fewer than 2% of runners ever break 20 minutes, and most of those that do are young men. It is a very small club, and that can make a goal feel very far away and unachievable. But I am the kind of person that likes to test things, so I went out last week and I pushed my body, not in a race, just in training, and I surprised myself. I can hit that pace. I felt it. I know I'm physically capable of running 4-minute kilometre speed. The issue is I cannot sustain it. Well, not yet. My body is not efficient at that speed. My form breaks down, only slightly. My breathing does get ragged and my heart rate just escalates way too soon. And that's when it clicked. It's not that I don't have the engine, it's that the engine isn't tuned for that kind of output. So I started wondering, why is it that so few runners hit this target? I mean, I know plenty of people who run regularly, people who train consistently, who are strong and committed, even experienced racers, people that have been running for years, and yet that sub-20 remains elusive. So I went down the rabbit hole. I wanted to understand it, not from a place of judgment, but curiosity, because if so many good runners don't break 20, there has to be a reason, or maybe a few reasons. And here's what I found. What I think are the 5 biggest reasons people struggle to get under 20 minutes, even when they're trying. Firstly, the training doesn't match the goal. Most runners are incredibly consistent, but they're consistently running easy miles, and that's great for building an aerobic base. But sub-20 pace is 4-minute kilometres, and that is fast. If your body has never been asked to run that fast, it's not going to magically do it on race day. You need training that specifically targets that zone, intervals at or just under race pace, threshold sessions, strides, VO2 max work, and it has to be laid in a strong aerobic foundation, not just thrown in randomly. Otherwise, you're just flirting with speed without ever developing it. Secondly, often there's no structured build or progression, and it's definitely something I've been guilty of in the past. Just, running what I feel like, maybe following a loose plan, but not really thinking in phases. And breaking 20 isn't just about working hard, it's about working smart. You need to gradually build base strength, speed, taper, and that progression is what lets your body adapt without ever burning out. Speaking of burning out, third, injury and overtraining. And this one's personal. I've had seasons derailed by injury because I didn't respect the demands of the training, trying to add speed too soon, or just too much volume, or you race too often without recovering properly, and your body just pushes back hard. Shin pain, plantar fasciitis, calf niggles, don't even get me started on my knees. It creeps up on you just when you're likely to start seeing progress, and then suddenly you're out for weeks, losing confidence and fitness. So staying healthy whilst chasing speed is not easy. It's a balancing act that most of us underestimate. Injury doesn't slow you down physically, it also chips away at your belief, and that's arguably even harder to come back from. Fourth, the pacing and racing gap, and this one is big. So training paces and race paces aren't always the same. You can nail your intervals and still blow up on race day. And why? Well, because pacing a 5K is deceptively hard. You go out too fast in the first kilometre, fueled by adrenaline, and by the time you hit 3K, you're done. Or you go out too slow, afraid of the pain, and finish the race with more in the tank than you wanted. Either way, the goal has gone. Learning how to pace yourself, to trust your body and stay calm in the chaos is a skill, and it takes practice, lots of it. I'll be looking forward to that. Finally, the mental side, and this is the one we don't talk about enough. Running sub-20 hurts. There is no sugarcoating it. That last kilometre especially, it's going to be a mental war. Your body will be screaming to stop, your legs will be heavy, your lungs burning, and your brain is doing everything it can to convince you to slow down or stop. And that is where the real training happens. Learning how to suffer well, how to sit in discomfort without panicking. That's the part no watch can measure. It's the part where most people fall short, not because they're weak, but just because they haven't trained for that part of the race. So if you're watching this and you've tried to break 20, I see you. I am right there with you. Let me know in the comments what has held you back. It's not a simple goal. It's not just run more or run faster. It is layered. It is strategic, physically demanding, and mentally intense. And yes, it's going to be painful, frustrating, and full of setbacks. But I do believe it's possible with a focused plan, with the right mix of strength, speed, recovery, and mindset, and the willingness to learn from every single attempt. So I'm going for it. Not because I'm trying to prove people wrong, but because I'm actually starting to believe I can do it. In the next video, I'm going to outline the timescale we are working to and how I calculated it. I think you'll like it. And if you're chasing a sub 25k as well, stick around. I'll be sharing the process, the wins, the setbacks, and the breakthroughs. And maybe, just maybe, we're going to break the sub 20 together. Enjoy your day, crack on.